Welcome back to another pen talk. Thanks for tuning in. So today we're not looking at a black box, so that's a change, but it is a Chinese pen. Some of you may recognize this outline. We're going to do Google Translate on the Chinese characters so you can see what they interpret in English. But before that, let's look at the pen. Comes with a eyedropper syringe and some cartridges, so you can use it from bottle ink, or you can use cartridges if you prefer. And here's the pen. It is a pocket pen. It is small. It is very nice looking. Excellent acrylic. I mean, we're talking small, and we're talking very small. So the cap just unscrews, reveals a could be a German nib. You know, you got your iridium point Germany on there. Clear section of the same material as the barrel and cap, which is always nice. And the other thing that makes this nice, which I think is a good design, is the cap securely posts on the back end, screws on, and it fits nicely in the hand. Yes, it's left-handed, but I want to have the sun come in there so you can actually admire the colors and the patterns of the pen. We'll take a look at the text on the front of the box, and we see pill color is an interesting translation of that. We'll flip it over to what's on the side, and then you see City Carpenter, which is a interesting translation, and Moonman in English underneath. And then we'll look at what's on the back of the box, and we'll see pill color mini portable pen, and the product name, made in China, Shanghai Mountain, India Trading Company distribution. So that's an interesting translation. Here's the pen disassembled. Yeah, the threads are great. Everything fits together well. The section has a nice O-ring there to seal it up well when you screw it back into the barrel, and I've put my silicone grease on those threads. And the nib section, the nib assembly, unscrews. You have two O-rings, one at the bottom, one up here. I've also put my silicone grease on this, and you can see some water left in there from my flushing operation. The pen still looks nice, even in pieces. So you may ask, what pen does the Moonman remind you of? And it's an easy one. It's this pen from Stipula, which was made a while ago. I bought a few of these because I felt they were excellent pens, and the price was discounted quite significantly. Nice box, which Stipula has been known for. It opens up and it reveals a pocket pen with an eyedropper filler made out of some nice clear acrylic with threads on the end for the cap. So this is the Paparazzi. They also made a Passaporte, which was a little different. You can see the engraving there on the barrel. The other thing that made this pen interesting, it was a limited edition. This is number 51 of 100. It just unscrews. I've used these pens. I had a red one first, and I used that for a while, and I got a blue one and a clear one just because they were inexpensive and they were disappearing. So it functions very well. And you may ask, how is it compared to the Moonman? But you know, basically, neither of these pens are pens that I would use without posting. The Moonman is actually significantly smaller than the Paparazzi, but again, these are designed to be posted. And it's still smaller, but still a usable size. So I thought you'd like that little look at another type of pen that kind of emulates the design. So how does it compare to some other pocket pens? Well, it's still small. Here's that Wingsung 3007, which has actually grown on me quite a bit. Pull-off cap makes it easy and quick to use the pen, and it's a consistently good writer. And here's your standards of the industry, your Kaweco Sport. So there's how they look in comparison. We'll zoom in a little bit on the business end, because they both have taken a slightly different approach. The Moonman section here is actually pretty close to being what I would call a normal size. It looks like a number 5 nib there. Then you have your Wingsung 3007, which is again a little bit smaller, intense hourglass shape. And then your Kaweco has a similar standard shape, but it is still smaller than the Moonman. So for those that like a little bit bigger section on their mini pens, the Moonman would definitely fit that bill. So what ink to put in it? I haven't used this ink in a little bit of time, so it's a nice green. I've enjoyed it in some pens when I got it a while ago. So we're going to use my trusty syringe to fill the pen up, then we'll see how much ink it will hold. I had to switch syringes because the other one has lost its marking. So I have 4 milliliters of ink in here. So this needle works well to go to the bottom of the barrel, which is how I like to fill them, from the bottom up. So we're going to fill it up close to the threads. And that took a good 2 milliliters of ink. As I mentioned, this section has that nice O-ring on it. I've silicone greased all of these things, so we're going to put this in play. And like some people who have pen BBS pens, this is a little bit of resistance when you screw in the section, but that's because of the O-ring, so that's good. So now we have that ink in there. We're going to let the ink saturate the feed. You know, one of the things when you do eyedropper or do any type of filling where you're not drawing ink up through the nib and feed, you have to give it some time for that ink to saturate the feed, and we'll put that aside and then we'll do some writing. I've had the pen inked up for a few days, so I thought it's now good enough time to do a writing sample. Had it in my pocket for a day and it survived quite well. We have some nice intense sunlight coming in, so I thought I'd take this opportunity to really show off this pen. I think it's about as nice a looking pen as I can imagine. Nice to see it full of ink. A lot of people have asked about me putting in links as to where to buy the pens, and the challenge with that is eBay changes around the different places in the world, so you really need to look at your local eBay or your local Amazon or wherever you might be trying to find something to buy. I give you descriptions and I show you what I bought it for and where I bought it at. But you'll need to be a little bit creative, do some searching. It's just not an easy button link to click on. Price varies on this, as we can see in some of these auctions. And in my investigations, I found they also make a hard rubber version of this for significantly more money, but certainly interesting. I'm not encouraged to spend the money for an ebonite version. I'm very happy with this one, and it writes very well, as we will see in a minute. As I mentioned, this pen you definitely want to post, and the fact that you can securely attach the cap with a few turns on those threads, it makes it very secure from a posting viewpoint. And I love the fact that it's a smooth transition. Very nice design when it comes to that. Of course, I write right-handed, but I wanted to see that sun coming in. I mean, this is an extremely smooth, consistent writer. There may be a slight disruption as my memory card filled up. I don't reuse memory cards. I keep them. I consider them relatively inexpensive methods of storage. So this clear section really shows off that ink filling up that feed. And this is just smooth, consistent. I mean, for a writer, I can't imagine how you could ask for more. Yeah, there's no character to it. It doesn't flex. But, you know, it lays down a great patch of ink. And you got to consider this as being a pocket pen, something you carry around for everyday writing. And for that, I think it's a perfect design. So I've been trying to think about the rating before I start doing this writing example where I'm going to give the rating. So hold on to your seats. I'm going to rate this as a 9. And primarily what I'm doing is I'm considering what this pen was designed for and how well it meets what I think it was designed for, which was to be an unbelievably small, useful, attractive pocket pen, well engineered, well made, great, used quality components at every level, especially the nib. So it's perfect. I mean, from that perspective, I don't think anything's worth a 10. You know, I'll save that for when something extraordinarily happens, which may never happen. So if you enjoyed this look at a interesting pen that a lot of my viewers had recommended I take a look at. And thanks to the tree guys who are now removing the trees that fell over and all the branches from the storm. They're taking lunch, so I'm able to do this recording without the chainsaws in the background. So we've come to the end of this video. May you have many extraordinarily pen experiences. May you have extremely, extraordinarily, unbelievable good pen experiences with nibs, inks, and paper. Until we meet again, bye.